Hello again and welcome back to the Book of Brett and another episode of Manic Movie Reviews. Before we get into this episode, I do just want to ask if you have not subscribed to the channel already, do consider hitting that subscribe button. If you have subscribed to the channel and you're new here, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's get into this movie review. Today we are going to be going over 2021's The Seventh Day. This is a new movie that's out on Netflix right now. And this movie caught my eye because I was going through Netflix looking for a movie to review. And I noticed that it was a spiritual horror movie, and I always really like spiritual or supernatural horror movies. And this is an exorcism movie starring Guy Pearce. It's got Badir Derbez, I believe is how you say his name. It's also got Stephen Lang in there as kind of a side character. And then we actually do get a cameo from Keith David at the very beginning of the movie, which I thought was pretty cool because I've always liked Keith David. But basically what we have is Guy Pearce is an exorcist who's like a renegade rogue, not your typical priest type of exorcist. And then we've got Badir Derbez, who plays a rookie exorcist. And the movie really kind of has this vibe of like The Exorcist, or any exorcism movie really, melded with Training Day and Ghostbusters. Because what we have here is we have Guy Pearce kind of showing Badir Derbez the ropes of being an exorcist. Badir Derbez's character is coming right off of his training, which Guy Pearce basically tells him is inadequate preparation and nobody can really teach you this shit. And so he's kind of taking him around to, they go to like one place before they get to the main portion of this story. The first confrontation they have with an entity is more kind of just breaking things up, so it's not going just straight into it, which I thought was actually pretty good writing. Nothing in this movie really like stands out though. I mean, the performances are pretty well done. The kid that plays Charlie, the younger kid, is so-so, but I would imagine finding good child actors is probably pretty difficult, so I kind of gave them a pass on that. But overall, the movie is pretty much just a fun ride. And it is a fun ride. But I don't think this is a movie you go into, and I don't think this is a movie that was made to break any new ground. Now, it does kind of have a little bit of a twist on the whole exorcist subgenre, just with the way Guy Pearce's character is. He is that kind of like renegade, rogue exorcist that you're not really accustomed to seeing in these types of movies. We're usually accustomed to one type of priest and we don't get that. So that was kind of a nice deviation from that trope. One of the really cool deviations that I actually noticed in this movie that I don't think has been touched on in a lot of exorcist movies in the past is the fact that this entity that they're fighting is actually getting like souls and getting people for an army to come and either fight humanity or fight heaven and the angels and God and all that. That's not really made clear, but what's made clear is that this demon is building an army, which I thought was pretty cool. It's almost like Legion meets an exorcism movie. There's a lot of different elements from different movies that really kind of converge here to make this movie, which is why I think it was still a fun ride, even though it's not breaking any new ground per se. At this point in the review, I am going to start getting into some spoilers. I might go back and forth between different parts, but there are going to be some spoilers coming up. So just heads up on that. If you do want to go check this and you don't want anything ruined from this movie, go ahead and stop the video now. Do remember to subscribe and like before you do that. There were a couple plot holes in this movie that I really noticed that really stood out to me that could either be just me being nitpicky or could be kind of explained away by just different interpretations of what's going on. In the third act, we find out that Guy Pearce is basically the guy that's been possessed by this demon. He is the demon, and the part that stood out to me was the fact that before it's made very, very clear to our main character that this is what's going on, Guy Pearce's character has already been helping with this exorcism. He's touched holy water. He's got priest robes on. He's got religious accoutrement. And if we go based off of our traditional exorcism movies, we know that this is kind of stuff that's like a no-no for demons, right? They can't touch this stuff. They can't be around it. Drives them insane. Usually drives them away. So that was something that stood out to me. However, I feel like it could be explained away by it being more of an underscore for how powerful this demon is. I don't think I missed anything, so maybe if somebody watches the movie, you can point out maybe I missed something, but it just stood out to me, like, how is he touching holy water? That's the big one for me. That's the big one. I could kind of push everything else off to the side, but the holy water was the big one for me because that's supposed to be, like, the thing you fight evil with in these movies, so that did stand out to me. I will say I thought it was really, really cool that this major twist in the story is actually the thing that ends Act 2 and begins Act 3. We do have some pretty cool special effects in this movie. Nothing too crazy, nothing too out there or anything like that, but I get a feeling that this was not a big budget film, and not in the sense of mainstream cinema. This was definitely not a 9-figure budget by any means whatsoever. So I think relatively speaking, this is probably a pretty low budget movie, or at least on the lower side, maybe mid-budget. And so I think that that kind of explains kind of the viewing experience that we do get with this movie. But all in all, it's a very fun movie. If you do like supernatural movies, exorcism movies, religious horror, stuff like that. I'm trying to be very conscious of not shitting all over the work that other people are doing, being somebody who's worked on his own stuff and is currently in the process of working on a movie and has another movie coming up in July. It is a lot of fun to watch. Guy Pearce is actually very, very good in this. I did like him as kind of the asshole exorcist priest, but I think I liked him for the same reasons I liked Denzel Washington in Training Day. And I make that reference because seriously, like the whole first act of this movie really has that almost like Training Day type of vibe. I feel like the ending was starting in the direction I wanted it to go in. I thought it would be kind of cool to go in the direction that it seems like it's going to go in. And then of course, at the very last second, the very last shot, it becomes very evident that this is going to go in a direction that, I mean, you really kind of expect. The ending basically consists of Father Daniel finding out that all the people that Guy Pearce's character has trained, he's actually been possessing them and getting them into the army that he's trying to create for hell. And so there's this scene at the very end where Father Daniel is sitting down with the Archbishop, who is Stephen Lang's character, and he has a collection of all of the priests and exorcists that he trained. I thought they were really going to go in this direction of him kind of either hunting down these people or trying to not possess these people or exorcise these people. And no, the very last shot is him giving this really sly glance up into the rearview mirror, kind of insinuating that now he's the one possessed and he's going to go after all these people and prepare them further. And I just was really unhappy with it taking that direction. Now, at the very least, we're not left with more questions at the end. I thought it would have been really cool for it to be kind of set him up as this, like, going and taking care of business type of guy, like that he had gone through this transition from this very, like, meek, shy, anxiety-ridden newbie to now he's gone through all this stuff and now he's ready to go out and continue tackling evil. I thought that would have been a really cool ending. That is not the ending that we get. However, it's not a terrible ending. It's just, it's a mediocre ending for an above average movie. All in all, I would definitely recommend going out and checking The Seventh Day. It is a fun watch. I really did enjoy watching this. I had fun watching it, but it was not anything that made me sit there and go, oh man, this is amazing. No, nothing like that, but again, definitely a very, very fun watch. So that is going to do it for me today, guys. Like I said, go check out The Seventh Day if you have not already. It is streaming on Netflix right now. It is in the top 10. It's on the lower scale of the top 10, but it's still up on the top 10, and I had a lot of fun watching it. So with that said, please subscribe if you have not already. Hit that like button if you liked this episode. Hit the thumbs down button if you didn't. I'm not thin-skinned. I can take it. And do be sure to leave any comments down below, any movie suggestions that you would like me to check out and review. I would love to get any of those and start doing some viewer-suggested movies, so that would be a ton of fun. But like I said, subscribe, like, Dislike if you want to, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I will see you guys next time.